My beloved child, pause for a moment. I long to whisper to you a truth of great weight. Open your eyes, for only you can perceive the miracle unfolding in the stillness that seems so empty. I invite you to witness not with the eyes of flesh, but with the vision of faith. There are times when you believe I have been silent too long, when delay feels like a crack in the foundation of your faith. You begin to wonder if my promises are but distant dreams, and if my hand has let you go into the night. Yet it is in that very silence that I am weaving a flawless plan, proving to you that your life has never been abandoned. My child, remember that I see every hidden chamber of your heart. I see the confusion you disguise, the tears you strive to hold back, the weariness that tempts you to surrender. When you think you are forsaken, I remain there quietly, upholding you as a father who never deserts his own. No event in your life is random. Every detail has been set in place to form an eternal tapestry. Do not allow your fragile emotions to speak louder than your trust in me, for feelings are fleeting, but my word endures forever. The world will cheer through doors that seem to open wide, through advice that appears wise, through the clamors that surround you. Yet not every opportunity comes from me. You must learn to discern, to recognize the gentle whisper I release, even in the storm. It may not thunder loudly, but it carries the power to shift your destiny if only you would pause in stillness. Be watchful of the strange whispers of life, for if you open your heart carelessly, you will lose the sensitivity of the spirit and no longer perceive the true path. When all things slow down, do not mistake it for rejection. The quiet days are when the roots of faith sink deeper into the ground, preparing to uphold you in the great harvest ahead. My delay is not forgetfulness, but the shaping of your character and the refining of your heart's motives. You may crave the gift today, but I desire you to love the giver more than the blessing. For blessings that come too soon fade away, but blessings that come in their season become an eternal inheritance. The first step in walking within my timing is knowing that I am never blind to your heart. I know each wound, each longing, and every prayer that remains unspoken. Even when you imagine I have forsaken you, I am there, an unseen light that quietly shines. No detail of your life passes in vain. All rests within the design I have woven long before. Therefore, I remind you, place your trust in me above fleeting emotions. Feelings may unsettle you, but faith will lead you in the certainty only I can give. It is easy for you to believe I care only about what appears outward, the actions you display before others. But I see the hidden places of your heart, the thoughts you fear even to face yourself. Many times you have let doubt creep in, persuading yourself that I no longer see or care. In those mistaken thoughts, your faith has withered, and you have lived as though forsaken. But I tell you, truth is not found in the shadows of your feelings, but in the constancy of my love. You may hide your bitterness behind a smile, your disappointment beneath composure, but you cannot hide from me. When you believe no one understands you, you open the door to darkness, whispering, "Even God has forgotten you." This is the most dangerous snare, for it leads you to live like one without a father, wandering through the desert of the soul. I warn you, never trade your trust in me for such invisible voices. Remember only this: I still see, I still know, and I still love. You often feel my absence not because I have withdrawn, but because you let emotions cloud the eyes of faith. You long for swift results, for immediate answers, for wishes fulfilled on your schedule. And when these do not come, you hastily conclude that I have turned away. The truth is that you have placed your expectations above my plan. You forget that I am not a mirror reflecting your desires, but the one who formed you to reflect my glory. When that order is reversed, your faith will always be shaken. My child, another reason you feel abandoned is because you compare your journey with others. You see them receive blessings, see doors open, see them walk with ease, and your heart rises with the question, why has God left me behind? But you do not know that every life has its own road. I see the whole map, while you glimpse only a fragment. Jealousy and doubt blur your vision, blinding you to the quiet guidance of my hand. Remember the story of Hagar the maid, driven away by Sarah, wandering the desert with her son Ishmael. In despair she wept, believing God had abandoned her. But I sent an angel who opened her eyes to a well beside her. And she gave me a new name, the God who sees me, Genesis 1:6-1:3. You see, Hagar thought herself forgotten, but in her darkest hour, I proved that I still watched, still listened. So it is with you. Though your heart believes I am silent, I remain present in every breath you take. I do not desire you to go on living in doubt. Dare to open your heart to me, even with your deepest fears. Do not offer only beautiful prayers, offer even the sighs you deem unworthy. I will not reject them, for my love is not built on false perfection. When you come honestly, you will see that my gaze has never left you. And in that realization, you will find again the peace you thought was lost. I call you to cease chasing after fleeting feelings. Let faith become your compass, not the passing waves of emotion. When I seem distant, that is the very moment you need my word most. Scripture is not merely old pages, but my voice speaking directly to you today. Return to it, my child, and let my word heal the blindness of your soul. Once you allow my word to define your reality, you will no longer be swayed by emotion. You already know that I see deep into your heart, but knowledge is not enough. You must learn to discern my voice amidst the clamor. For when you truly believe I am present, you will begin to search for the true echo of my voice in daily life. You will recognize that not every invitation comes from me. Not every light is from heaven. And in stillness you will hear my tender whisper, one the world can never drown. My child, you are living in a world full of chaotic echoes. Voices of praise, the calls of the world, the whisper of desire in your heart all crowd to claim your ear. The world knows how to cloak destruction in brilliance, while my voice often comes like a gentle breeze. If you are not alert, you will be deceived, running toward what looks like light, but leads to ruin. And in that moment you will find yourself far from the source of life, all the while believing you are on the right path. Understand this. Not every open door is set by me. Some doors open to test your heart, some to draw you away from me, and only a few are the paths I have prepared for you. People often think, if the door is open, it must be God's will. But my child, the enemy, also knows how to open doors. It offers easy shortcuts, swift success, sweet promises, without trial. Remember, Adam and Eve also heard a voice in Eden, reasonable, enticing, yet leading to ruin. The reason you confuse my voice with the world's is because you resist entering stillness. You rush, you scramble for solutions, and in the frenzy you demand that I speak loud and clear. But I am gentle. I do not compete with noise. Like with the prophet Elijah, when he fled in despair, he expected me in the storm, the earthquake, the fire. Yet I came in a gentle whisper. 1 Kings 1:9-12. You see, I need not thunder to prove my power. I choose the whisper to see if you will stop and listen. When your soul refuses quiet, you fling wide the gates to every voice. You lean more on the counsel of men than on my word. You are swayed by opinion, by the crowd's emotions, by words that sound wise yet lack the spirit. You think yourself discerning, but you are carried like a leaf in the current. And when the chaos consumes faith, you lose the sharpness to distinguish my voice from the enemy's. My child, I call you back. Return not merely to abandon noise, but to choose stillness, so I may speak into your heart. Find that place where your soul can rest, where only you and I remain as a father whispering secrets to his child. My voice does not force itself, but those who love me will know it instantly, just as sheep recognize their shepherd's voice. Learn to discern. Do not merely ask, is this door open? But is this voice my Father's? For only my voice brings deep peace. Every other voice leaves restlessness and emptiness. I know you long for clarity, for my word to thunder like lightning, silencing all doubt. But child, spiritual maturity is born when you learn to distinguish among the whispers. You must be patient in prayer, test all things by the light of Scripture, and walk humbly, never leaning on your own wisdom. I have promised my sheep hear my voice. I know them and they follow me, John 10:27. That promise does not change. But to live in it, you must silence the voices crowding your heart. Once you are familiar with my voice, deception will lose its grip. Though the world may cheer, though the enemy may masquerade as light, your heart will know the difference. Then you will walk not with the crowd, but with the steps of the Good Shepherd. And from that listening, you will learn another secret delay in. My plan is never abandonment, but hidden preparation. Child, you tremble when all slows, fearing that silence is proof of failure. You begin to doubt. If God truly loves me, why does he not act now? But I tell you, delay is not proof I have forgotten. It is the secret furnace where your faith is refined. As a seed lies hidden in the soil, appearing useless, yet quietly sending roots deep, so the silence you endure is the season in which I prepare for abundant harvest. If you judge only the surface, you will think yourself forsaken. Yet I am laying the unseen foundation for a blessing beyond your imagining. Remember, this delay reveals the true motives of your heart. When I do not answer at once, it becomes clear whether you wait out of love for me or only for the gift I might give. Thus I allow delay as a mirror, exposing truth within you. I do not want you to live by a fragile faith like a fleeting breeze, but by a steadfast trust as I have spoken. Suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope. Romans 5:3-4. Do you see? The slow road is not where hope dies, but where hope is formed. The reason you suffer in seasons of delay is because you have bound your sense of worth to speed. The world has taught you that faster is better, that arriving sooner means success. You have carried this thinking into your spiritual life, desiring me to act instantly so you may be assured you are not left behind. Yet I am not bound to human timetables. I am the Lord of time itself, and I have often chosen delay to instruct my people. Remember Israel, they wandered 40 years in the wilderness. It was not that I lacked power to bring them straight into the promised land, but because time was needed to purify a generation, to teach them that I am the one who fed them daily with manna. Let me tell you a story often overlooked, the story of Jonah. After fleeing from his calling, he was swallowed into the belly of a great fish for 3 days and nights. Many only see punishment there, but in truth it was purposeful delay. In that darkness and forced stillness, Jonah prayed, repented, and received a new chance to fulfill my will. Without the delay, he would never have discovered the true value of obedience. My child, the slowing you now resent may be grace itself holding you back from drifting further from the path I set for you. I call you to stop seeing delay as a sign of failure. See it instead as the soil covering the seed, the furnace purifying gold, the Father's hand withholding for a moment to protect you from your own haste. In waiting, you are not forgotten, you are being prepared. And when I prepare, every detail is woven with purpose. Nothing is wasted. Return to me in the quiet days, offering trust beyond what your eyes can see, so that when blessing comes, you will be able to hold it lastingly instead of losing it through an untrained heart. There will come a time when you will recognize that delay has accomplished what haste never could: a deeper faith, a purer heart, a truer dependence on me rather than on the gift. And when you walk through this season, you will learn another lesson: to receive the new, you must let go of the old. Some things that seemed good were only meant for a former season, and if you refuse to release them, your hands will never be free to take what I am preparing. My child, there are things once necessary in a past season that now only weigh you down. You cling to decayed relationships, to habits that wither your spirit, to memories you believe sustain you, but in truth only drain you. I see you holding tightly, not because these things still serve you, but because you fear loss. Yet clinging to what has expired leaves no space for the appointments I long to give you. Like a vessel filled with sediment, if it is not emptied, it can never taste the new wine. The reason you find it hard to let go is that you have tied your identity to what has already passed. You believe that if you release it, you will be empty, with no one to lean on, nothing to remember. But my beloved, I do not define you by failures or broken ties. You are defined by my gaze, by my unchanging love. As Scripture says, forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing, Isaiah 4:3-1-8-19. Do you see? The new can never arise if you clutch the old. Remember Rachel, who secretly carried her father's idols and hid them beneath her camel's saddle. That was the picture of a heart not fully surrendered, still clinging to relics for false security. But did those idols save her? They only brought trouble, filling her with fear of discovery. So it is with you. What you refuse to release becomes invisible chains binding you to a season already dead. But I do not desire you to live in fear. I desire you to walk in true freedom. My child, I call you to courageously release. Letting go is not loss. It is an act of faith. Faith that I am good enough to replace the old with the new. Do not fear empty hands, for empty hands are the very space I long to fill. When you let me remove your old burdens, I will place within them timely relationships, right opportunities, and doors that open in due season. I never abandon you to emptiness. I always exchange it for something better. And when you have learned to release, you will discover something deeper, that my timing is always perfect and trustworthy. You will no longer be unsettled by delay, nor cling to what is outdated. You will walk in my rhythm, the one who is never late, never wasteful. And their blessings will unfold, not merely enough, but overflowing. How many times have you sighed believing I was late? How many times have you silently accused me of missing your best chance? You look at your calendar and conclude I have forgotten. But I tell you truly, not once in your life have I been late. The delays you call failure are in fact protection. For if I gave you what you asked for in your timing, the blessing would become a burden too heavy to bear. My timing is not only right, it is flawless, perfectly matched to the person I am shaping you to become. The reason you doubt my timing is because you see only the present through narrow eyes. You are like one standing in a valley, unable to see the winding path leading to the summit. You crave immediacy to ease your worry, to shorten your wait. But you do not know that I am aligning every detail, fitting each piece, so that blessing arrives whole, not half-formed. As Scripture says, all things work together for good, for those who love God, Romans 8:2-8. Even what seems out of rhythm is part of my perfect symphony. Recall the story of Esther, a Jewish girl, seemingly insignificant. Yet I placed her as queen at the exact moment her people faced annihilation. If it had happened earlier, she would not have had the position. If later, the nation would have perished. It was in that precise timing that my people were saved. So it is with your life. I have appointed the very moments when you must rise, and when that time comes, no power can stand in the way. You need only believe that my schedule never falters. Therefore, I call you to live in hope. Do not let your heart drown in fear when my promises seem delayed. Do not let waiting turn to bitterness. Let it become a song of praise, knowing I am moving even when your eyes cannot see. Place time in my hands, for I am the one who holds all seasons. When you trust me, you will no longer be haunted by when, but will rest in who is in control. And you will discover a deep joy. Blessings that come in my time are always better than you imagined. When you recognize my timing as perfect, you will cease rushing to grasp what is unripe, cease grieving what is gone. You will live in my rhythm, neither hurried nor stagnant. You will know that I, the one who is never late and never wasteful, am writing the most beautiful story for your life. And in that trust, you will experience blessings not merely sufficient but abundant, so that you may become a living witness to the world. The timing of the Lord is always the best. Listen now, my child, as I speak gently but truly. Your life is not a series of broken fragments, but a flowing stream with rhythm, and I am the conductor. I know when to press, when to hold, when to pause the music, to shift into another key. Do not let your haste turn the sacred melody into chaos. You are too used to counting each day as though it were subtraction when promises tarry. You compare your progress to others, measuring by earthly clocks, as though I must act by them. But I invite you to see with eternal eyes. Everything has its season, its appointed time, to be born and to die, to plant and to reap. These words are not indifference, but comfort, reminding you that divine order governs history, an order I have set to guard you and lead you to what is whole. When you believe all must follow your rhythm, you place your heart at the universe's center, and when you do, chaos follows, for my hand must realign what has gone astray to serve a greater purpose. Imagine you hold a broken vessel, yet still pour water into it. Without repair, the water runs out and is wasted. So too with your soul, I would rather take time to mend your vessel, to refine motives and desires, than to grant blessings you cannot yet hold. That is why I allow seasons of waiting not to test me, but to refine you, to reveal whether your love rests in externals or in me alone. How many times you cling to outward signs, shallow promises, old ties, you fill your soul with emptiness, and when I seek to place within it what is true, you grieve for fear of loss. But my beloved, dare to let your hands be empty, for only then can I fill them anew. Only when you release can I appoint fresh callings, right people, and timely doors. So often you do not see that what you call obstacles are turns I have designed to bring you back to the source. If you run in haste, you stumble into pride's snare, but if you wait in silence and prayer, I will shape your steps and sharpen your vision to see the goal, not just the bend ahead. Do not let the world's clamor deafen you. Its noise only drowns my gentle whisper, and it is my whisper that leads you safely. You may pour out your heart to me, loosening sorrow and doubt, for I am never pressured by your haste, but always respond at the right time in the right way. When you cry, I hear, but sometimes I answer in a word you only understand once your vision has changed. Know this, every event, small or great, I use to train you to cleanse what is stained, to fill emptiness with what is eternal. Some bridges can only be crossed when you learn to trust each plank beneath your feet. If you demand to see the entire span, you will never take a step. Faith does not grow when you hold the whole map, but when you dare to take the first step in obedience. Remember the times you thought yourself at an unfair fork, ready to turn away, ready to flee, but when you paused and listened, you discovered the road led into a turn that later became blessing. This is the secret. Only the patient discover. Often I withhold sight, lest you cling to what is unripe, and when I finally open it, you see I have been preparing all along. Understand also that delay is not wasted. In the silent days I am sowing, nurturing, cultivating the seeds of virtue within you, patience, meekness, servanthood, and a heart not craving fleeting glory. If you lose these virtues by chasing desires too soon, you will receive blessing without being able to keep it, grace without knowing its worth, and ultimately let it slip away. Let me build your life layer upon layer, slow but steady, so that when harvest comes you have strength to sow again and pass it on to others. Do not forget I bless you not only for your joy, but so you may be a channel of grace through whom others are healed and led back to me. To illustrate, consider a seldom told story, the Shunammite woman who prepared a room for the prophet Elisha, caring for him as family. In my grace she received a son. When the boy died, she did not let grief make her despair, but sought Elisha with persistence. Through the prophet's prayer, the child lived again. 2 Kings 4. There was loneliness, tested hope, painful delay, but throughout her heart remained steady toward me. She did not give up when results did not come at once. She did not chase empty promises elsewhere. She clung to me in silence, and I answered with more than she asked. That story shows not only that I hear persistent cries, but also that I use long days of endurance to carve a steadfast witness, one who will tell of my power to generations. Therefore, return to me now. Do not wait for another sign. Do not seek a louder voice, but come back with a sincere heart, with endurance, and with small yet steady acts of faith. Let those acts be guided by my word, by silent prayer, and by a soul that listens. As you put that faith on your lips and walk forward, you will discover that everything I give arrives in its perfect time, fitting the person I am shaping within you. I want you to be at peace. I am not hurried yet, neither do I forget. I do not act under pressure, but I always do what is most right for your future. Cast away the fear that my timing is a failure. See instead that it is an invitation back to truth, to know that the timetable of God is not the enemy of joy, but the wise hand that ensures joy endures. And as you live in this way, teaching yourself to walk step by step, accepting pauses as part of the process and releasing control to make room for what is not yet, you will see your life transformed, relationships, renewed opportunities, arriving to the right people, and blessings flowing not only as fleeting moments but as a steady current. You will come to understand, as Scripture has said, all things work together for the good of those who love God, not because all things seem good in your eyes, but because I weave every fragment into a picture of meaning. Let me guide you in those small steps. Do not wait until you hold the whole map before beginning the journey, for faith grows when you dare to believe and step forward, not when you possess every answer. I stand beside you, my hand resting gently on your shoulder, calling you to walk on one step at a time, slowly, yet firmly, so that you may witness what I have prepared for you, a gift whose power and grace can only be fully revealed in its right time and in the maturity of your soul. My beloved, listen as I speak further with a voice gentle yet true. Your life is not a string of scattered moments, but a stream with rhythm, and within that rhythm, I am the conductor. I know when to press forward, when to hold back, and when to let the melody fall silent so the music can move into another key. Do not let your haste turn the sacred song into chaos. You have grown too accustomed to counting each day as though it were a loss if a promise has not yet come true. You compare your pace with the timeline of others, measuring by earthly clocks as if I were bound to them. But I invite you to see with eternal vision, there is a time for everything, a season for every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to harvest. These words are not a summons to apathy, but a comfort reminding you of the divine order that governs history, an order I have set to protect you and lead you into what is whole. When you insist that everything must unfold by your rhythm, you place your own heart at the center of the universe, and when you do, chaos follows, because my hand must redirect those wandering paths to align with a greater purpose. Imagine carrying a cracked vessel yet trying to fill it with water. Unless you mend it first, the water will spill and all will be wasted. So too with your soul, I would rather use time to repair and purify it, to reshape motives and desires, than pour blessings into what cannot yet contain them. That is why I allow seasons of waiting, not to test myself, but to refine you, to reveal whether your love rests on fleeting things or upon me alone. How often have you clung to signs, temporary promises, and worn-out ties, filling your soul with emptiness? And then, when I sought to place something true within you, you mourned the emptiness, instead of welcoming the space. My child, be brave enough to let your hands remain empty, for only when they are empty can I fill them anew. Only when you release can I place into them what is fresh, fitting, and timely. Many times you fail to see that what seemed like obstacles were in fact turning points. I ordained to bring you back to the source. When you rush forward, you may stumble into the trap of self-sufficiency. But when you learn to wait in silence and prayer, I bend your steps, refine your sight, and let you glimpse the true goal rather than only the bend ahead. Do not let the noise of the world exhaust you. All clamor can drown out my gentle whisper, and it is that whisper that leads you to safety and truth. You may bring your burdens before me, loosening sorrow and doubt, for I am not pressed by your urgency, but always respond at the right time in the way that fits best. When you cry, I hear, but sometimes I choose to answer with a word you can only grasp once your perspective has shifted. Know this: every event, great or small, I use to train you, to cleanse away stains, to fill the empty places with what holds eternal value. Some bridges can only be crossed by learning to trust each plank beneath your feet. If you demand to see the whole span from end to end, you will never step forward. Faith does not grow when you own the entire map, but when you dare to place the first step in obedience. Remember the times you thought you faced an unjust crossroads, when you longed to turn back or run away. Yet if you had paused and listened, you would have seen the path led to a later bend that became a blessing. That is the secret only the patient discover. At times I withhold vision, lest you clutch what is unripe, and when I finally unveil, you will see that I had been preparing everything long before. I also want you to understand that delay is not futility. In those silent days, I am sowing, nurturing, and cultivating seeds of virtue in your heart, patience, meekness, a spirit of service, and a humility that does not chase after fleeting brilliance. If you lose these qualities in pursuit of early gain, you may receive blessing but cannot keep it, receive favor but fail to value it, and ultimately let it slip away. Allow me to build your life layer upon layer, slowly yet securely, so that when harvest comes, you will have strength to plant again and to pass blessings forward. In all things do not forget, I do not bless you only for your enjoyment, but that you may become a channel of grace through which others are healed and led back to me. To illustrate this, consider the story seldom told yet rich with wisdom, the Shunammite woman who prepared a room for the prophet Elisha, caring for him as family, and in my grace was granted a son. When the child died, she did not let grief make her despair. She sought Elisha with steadfastness, and through the prophet's prayer the boy lived again. 2 Kings 4. In that story there was loneliness, tested hope, and painful delay, but throughout her heart remained fixed upon me. She did not give up without seeing results, nor did she chase empty promises elsewhere. She clung to me in silence, and I answered with more than she expected. That story shows not only that I hear persistent cries, but that I use long days of endurance to carve out witnesses who stand firm, who will proclaim my power to generations to come. Therefore, return to me. Now do not wait for another sign. Do not seek a louder voice, but come back with a sincere heart, with endurance, and with small yet steady acts of faith. Let those acts be guided by my word, by silent prayer, and by a soul that listens. As you put that faith on your lips and walk forward, you will discover that everything I give arrives in its perfect time, fitting the person I am shaping within you. I want you to be at peace. I am not hurried yet, neither do I forget. I do not act under pressure, but I always do what is most right for your future. Cast away the fear that my timing is a failure. See instead that it is an invitation back to truth, to know that the timetable of God is not the enemy of joy, but the wise hand that ensures joy endures. And as you live in this way, teaching yourself to walk step by step, accepting pauses as part of the process, and releasing control to make room for what is not yet, you will see your life transformed, relationships, renewed opportunities, arriving to the right people, and blessings flowing not only as fleeting moments, but as a steady current. You will come to understand, as Scripture has said, all things work together for the good of those who love God, not because all things seem good in your eyes, but because I weave every fragment into a picture of meaning. Let me guide you in those small steps. Do not wait until you hold the whole map before beginning the journey, for faith grows when you dare to believe and step forward, not when you possess every answer. I stand beside you, my hand resting gently on your shoulder, calling you to walk on one step at a time, slowly yet firmly, so that you may witness what I have prepared for you, a gift whose power and grace can only be fully revealed in its right time and in the maturity of your soul. Beloved, let me speak to you with a warm breath that carries the patience of heaven. See your life as a river flowing through valleys with gentle stretches and deep eddies whose depths you cannot yet see. Not every bend is safe to row, nor is every still waterproof of my absence. I am the one who directs the current, knowing when the waters are deep enough to carry your boat and when they are too strong for you to steer, requiring you to wait on shore until the tide shifts. That is why I let you stand on the bank in certain seasons, not to cause you pain, but to protect you from risk, to wait until the flow aligns with your steps. Imagine if you leapt too quickly into shallow waters, you would strike hidden rocks, the boat stuck, your hope sunk. If you plunged into the whirlpool, you would be swept away from the path I laid. For this reason, I choose the moment of each departure. I hear the hidden rhythms beneath the surface more than you sense, and I alone know when to say now and when to remain silent. You must understand, this waiting with me is not emptiness, but a workshop where I forge the virtues you will need to steward the blessing when it comes. Patience is not born in an instant. Humility does not spring from instant favor, and the steadfast heart that distinguishes between the gift and the giver can only be formed when you learn to endure without complaint and walk without demand. If I were to grant every request in a moment, you would worship the gifts more than the giver. I love you too much to allow that. I want you to treasure me above all, and so I prepare you through silent days, days that seem barren, but in truth are colored with eternity, sharpening your motives and refining your ambitions until only desires aligned with my will remain. In moments when you feel lost, do not forget that I leave within you impressions, dreams, and small images like shafts of light falling on the floor. Record them. Some are guides for the present, some seeds for a later season. To keep them is sacred, for I want you to learn the art of remembering so that when time opens you will recognize the path I quietly traced before. Do not rush to force every vision into action. Some are for planting, some for nurturing, and some simply to assure you that I still speak. Practice asking in prayer, Father, is this for now or for later? And wait for the answer in stillness, not haste. Like a craftsman who hides a key, I place power in your hands but will only open the door when the door appears. If you try to unlock what does not yet exist, you will meet only disappointment, and the key will be bent, losing its use. I want the key whole when I say open, so that you may step in with both readiness and responsibility. You must also see that in delay I give you the chance to examine your motives. Do you wait because you love me, or because you desire what I give? Do you cling to promises for self-gain, or to grow into a witness for my name? If you act only to receive blessings will be like fast food consumed quickly, leaving nothing to shape you. But if you wait, allowing me to train you, that blessing becomes a heritage worth keeping. Use the waiting to tend your soul. Read the word, pray, serve quietly, practice gratitude daily. Such small acts are like preparing soil before sowing. I do not want to scatter seed on hardened ground, but into soil tilled, watered, and ready. And my child, do not overlook forgotten lessons. There are testimonies in Scripture rarely told yet rich with wisdom about preparation before blessing comes. Look at Bezalel and Oholiab, whom I chose and filled with my spirit to craft the tabernacle. I gave them not only skill but wisdom, creativity, and craftsmanship before the great work began. I prepared their hands, sharpened their minds, and placed within them the ability to build something larger than themselves. Their story teaches a simple but profound truth. I often plant gifts and abilities within you before I open the way, for when those gifts are mature, you will not panic when the door opens, but know what to do with what I place in your hands. I want you to see every stage of your life as a season of sowing times, to gather knowledge times, to train your craft times, to pray and reflect, all part of a greater plan that only patience can reveal in its fullness. When you fear that waiting might cause you to lose a part of yourself, let my word comfort you. With every step you take, I walk beside you. Do not in your youth think of time as an enemy. Time under my guidance is a gentle companion who turns rough stones into precious gems. What I give in its appointed season carries a permanence that surpasses all your expectations. It does not merely fill your life, but also illuminates the eyes of those around you, that they may see me living through you. Therefore, hold fast to faithfulness in every small moment. Do not give up midway. Do not trade preparation for convenience. Do not abandon the process out of hunger for results. The fruit of waiting is a heart capable of responsibility, a spirit not easily seduced, and a life that conveys grace rather than hoards it for itself. You must also learn to discern between the true call and alluring voices. The world will always shout dazzling with its bright colors, but those voices often promise speed rather than depth. Let your ears incline more toward my gentle whisper than the pounding drums of the crowd. When I speak softly within you, it is often with peace, accompanying it no noise, yet with a deep inner clarity. That is why I teach you, do not seek grand echoes, but seek harmony within, for only that voice leads you rightly. And when you recognize it, respond with simple yet honest actions. Walking, giving, serving for it is precisely these small steps that open great doors when the time is ripe. My child, in every season of waiting, I also grant you the grace of awakening. Your eyes will notice what you once overlooked. Your heart will feel the pain of others. Your hands will long to labor rather than complain. This is the inward transformation I desire more than the brightest dream you hold. Do not let discouragement silence you. Let waiting give you a voice as you become one who shares, uplifts, and prays for others. When the season of receiving arrives, you will not merely keep the blessing for yourself, but also pour it forth to the world, for I will have made you a source of grace for the community. And finally, remember this: I do not forget a single prayer you utter. I will not let you lose your portion as long as you remain attentive to my voice. Continue to write down those strange dreams, those sudden impressions. Learn to sort them, which are for now, which are for later. And when that door appears, step through it with gratitude and responsibility. Let your heart become a place where I can entrust greater plans, for I long to use your life to reveal glory, not merely to satisfy fleeting desires. You will see that all delays were arranged to serve a swifter perfection when the current is right. I will say, board the boat, and you will marvel at the speed I grant, as what once seemed stagnant turns into a leap forward toward blessing. Walk in that faith, my child, with courage and remembrance, for I am still guiding, I am still revealing, and I am still waiting to give you your portion, a portion made whole and worthy, only in its appointed time. Beloved one, sit with me, and listen in the deepest gentleness, for I long to release you from each burden you clutch. The delays you lament are not necessarily refusals, but often my hand shielding you. There are battles I have fought in secret on your behalf, sparing you wounds that could scar your life. At times I pull you back, not because I forget my promise, but because snares lie ahead unseen to your eyes, and if I did not halt your steps, you might rush straight into them. Think on this: sometimes delay is the armor I quietly clothe you with, though your heart feels cold for not receiving its wish immediately. Yet that very armor saves you from harm. When you look back, you will see how I sheltered you in the days and nights that seemed wasted. I want you to understand the timing I choose serves not only you but a larger flow where lives intersect, decisions converge, and circumstances entwine into a fabric stronger and more useful than anything you could imagine. You often think the story revolves around you, as though the universe moves for your desire alone, and so when I delay you feel abandoned. But I am weaving a great tapestry where each life and each choice may become the knot needed to tie to another life. Your blessing sometimes requires another heart to be ready, another hand to release another word spoken to open the door for you. If I hasten you too quickly, you might arrive where a step from another has not yet fallen and the bond would break. But if I bring all together at the right time, the harmony will create something complete, not fragmented. Thus I see the unripe hearts, the undecided wills, and I act mercifully, waiting for each piece to be set in place, so that when you step onto the stage of life, those around you are also rightly positioned to honor with you, not hinder. Do not rush to conclude that delay means failure. I use time to design the structure of what you will receive. A blessing arriving in season has multiplied power, while one that comes prematurely without preparation fades quickly. You may grow weary watching the clock as days slip by, but I look with a longer gaze, weighing each factor not just for today, but for seasons yet to come. Some gifts I give are not for your keeping alone, but for you to pass on, so that others may be healed by the courage and faith you forged in trial. Consider this image: if I placed a seed in your hand before you knew how to till the ground, it could wither in the sand. But if you have learned to prepare the soil, trained in knowledge and heart, then when the seed arrives, the garden will flourish. That is why I move slowly with care, for I want your portion not as a fleeting moment, but as a heritage. When I draw you back, it may be because I am battling ahead to clear the path. Enemies I weaken, circumstances I quietly shift to minimize your loss. Often you will not know why calamities did not befall you, for you did not see the threats revealed and handled by my hand. Yet it is because of that protection you can awaken each morning unscarred. Trust that I never take my eyes off your steps. I watch and set wise boundaries to preserve your life and calling. When delay feels burdensome, see it as a hidden mercy. I am fighting, I am arranging, I am waiting for other hearts to be made ready. For your soul to be steady, you must recognize that much of the blessing lies in cooperation. It is not yours alone, but something I accomplish through a web of people. Sometimes grace comes through another's hand, through a turning point in their story. If I lifted you too soon, I would spoil that chance of union. I work through many lives at once, weaving each thread, and only when all are strong enough do I tie the final knot. So do not despair when others seem unchanged, for I may be shaping them to become the piece essential to your blessing. Your patience may be the very hinge on which that blessing finds its fullness. Listen closely, for I will give you true signs, peace blooming within you despite outer turmoil, my word echoing in Scripture as a mirror. Sometimes a family member, a word of comfort, or a chance encounter, confirming what I whispered. Do not demand that I act by the script you have written. I have an artisan's eye, seeing further consequences than temporary joys. Learn to look with the seasoned eyes of faith. What comes in time endures, what comes too early fades. As the psalm declares, He sets every step firm. I do not move under pressure, but I make all things beautiful in eternal order. I also want you to seek from me wisdom to discern the inner impressions I send, dreams, sudden stirrings, fleeting thoughts you find strange. Hold them, record them, and in prayer, ask me to distinguish what is for now, what is for later. I do not want you acting hastily on every inner echo. Many times I reveal a vision for you to carry like an uncut gem, needing time to be polished before it shines. When you train your heart as a faithful recorder, you will learn to sort, and when the moment comes, you will easily recognize the carpet I roll out before your feet, not because it has just appeared, but because you have long noticed its signs. To prove this, recall an often overlooked figure, Barzillai of Gilead, who welcomed King David with loyalty and care when the king was a fugitive. Barzillai guided, sustained, and when the time came, he received only a small reward, yet his role preserved the king's life and honor, shaping history itself. That story shows you sometimes I place a person in a quiet but essential role, not the star upon the stage, but the hidden spring at a tree's root, ensuring growth continues. Your blessing may likewise depend on Barzillai hearts I prepare for each other, connections I guard. Therefore do not despair when doors remain shut. Use the waiting to strengthen your heart, to serve, to refine virtues, to sow into others' lives. For those seeds planted in waiting will sprout into harvest fields when the time comes. Do not lose hope nor be distracted by the world's noise. I am carving into you the capacity to preserve grace, to discern timing, and to receive the connections needed so that blessing flows not only to you but through you to many. My child, rest in this word. I will not let your portion be lost. I am watching every stitch, every thread in the fabric of your life. When I see it complete, I will open the door and you will realize that no waiting was wasted, no tear meaningless, and every patient day laid a foundation for something greater. Trust my craftsmanship. I know how to restore what is torn, how to set each person in place, and how to weave all fragments together in their moment. Walk in that faith, ears attentive, hands recording, heart ready to open when I say now. Beloved, sit beside me and hear my voice, gentle yet resolute. All I do in your life is not merely for your private gain, but for the eyes, the hearts, and the steps of those around you. At times I restrain, delay, or pause a door so that another may see and believe. For sometimes your story fulfilled in due season becomes the leaven that stirs faith in a family, a community, or a generation. I set you as lights in dark places, not for your own brilliance, but that others wandering in shadow may see the way they must go. Thus the slowing you feel is often a communal grace. I long for the answer, the blessing or the change I give to be unveiled at the moment it can awaken faith in others. For there are hearts not yet ready to recognize it early, and circumstances that can only be overturned by a historical moment when every eye beholds and every mouth gives praise. My child, understand this. The deep longing within you is not something I desire to remove. Rather, I use it as an instrument to sharpen the eyes of your spirit. When you yearn intensely for something yet cannot touch it, your heart is stretched and drawn like a bowstring, and it is precisely that tension which makes your spiritual vision more discerning. You begin to distinguish more finely between what is true and what is false, between what is noble and what is merely glittering, for the longing that has been engraved upon your heart exposes any imitation the moment it appears. If I were to give you what you desire too soon, you might accept a cheap substitute because you lack the experience to recognize true worth. But when you learn to live with longing, and I allow time to do its work, you will reject easy solutions and embrace only what is worthy of the deepest cry of your soul. The ache of waiting is not a punishment, but a safeguard for your destiny. I preserve the gift so that it will not dissolve in haste, that the blessing may not be fleeting joy, but a foundation to be shared with many lives. Never misunderstand when I hold time over a promise, as though it had lost its power. The words I have spoken are never diminished by time. They are kept within, my treasury nurtured and guarded, waiting for the appointed moment to be revealed. People measure with years, with months and days passing, and when they see their age rising, they panic and think it is too late. But I am not bound by clocks. I stand outside the sequence of days, and my day is always perfect. Therefore, what I bring, even if it seems delayed, retains its full value and is enriched with eternal wisdom. Believe that the span of time you endure is not wasted. In that silence, I am at work in ways unseen, preparing others, shifting minds, opening roads, and reshaping contexts, so that when the blessing comes, it will not rest upon you alone, but overflow into many hearts. I want you to recognize this interconnection. Often your blessing is intimately tied to the readiness of others. Sometimes I do not open a door because another piece has not yet been set in place. Perhaps a heart needs healing. A word of reconciliation has not been spoken, or someone else must learn their lesson so they can step in alongside you. I move simultaneously in many lives, weaving a path where my children will meet at the appointed place. If you rush ahead of time, you may arrive at the destination, but lack the essential harmony of the plan. Then the blessing is incomplete, the connection fractured, and the fullness of grace diminished. That is why I delay, why I measure carefully, why I call you to patience, not to wound you, but to ensure that when the blessing appears, every necessary element is prepared to receive and multiply it. Let me paint you another image. I see the whole, not only one life, but an entire lineage. I know that a personal gift given at the right moment can alter the destiny of a family and awaken a stream of blessing for many. If I give too soon or in isolation, I may miss the chance for healing to flow through you to others. Therefore, I act with a purpose larger than yourself, with an impact that reaches beyond your sight. This is why the turns you consider unjust are, in truth, essential strokes in the canvas of grace's history. My child, do not let fear cause you to retreat when I call you into unknown territory. Fear can disguise itself as wisdom and steal from you the very experience needed to grow. True wisdom is not to remain always within safe boundaries, but to listen for my voice and step forward when I call, even when the way seems illogical to human reason. I will confirm that call within your heart with a peace that cannot be fabricated, with my word shining through Scripture, and with signals from loved ones or circumstances, like a constellation, guiding your path. And when these resonate together, that is when I declare, move forward. Yet if you listen to fear masked as wisdom, you will shut the door to greater grace. True wisdom is the ability to discern between cautious prudence and disguised fear that resists growth. Remember also, there are moments when I act swiftly because a historic instant arises, an outbreak in your story that can reverberate strongly and shift many directions. At such times, I may open a door instantly, letting light pour into a wide expanse, for I delight in using the small as a seedbed for the great. But there are other times when I delay, when I restrain for reasons hidden from you, perhaps to wait for another person, for a soul to mature, for the resonance of timing to form. Do not press me to explain every mystery. Your life is a chapter in a greater narrative I am writing, and your task is faithfulness in each page, whether it is long or short. During your seasons of waiting, use time wisely, steep yourself in my word, remain steadfast in prayer, serve without condition, and treasure every holy impression as my whispers. Record your dreams, emotions, fleeting images, for when I speak at the appointed hour, you will open those pages and realize I have been preparing you all along. Those journals will be the spiritual map guiding you through the path I have woven. Do not waste the days in complaint or weariness. Let them become days of preparation, shaping you for a reward far greater. I also desire you to bless those who are still waiting. Instead of envy or sorrow over their delay, pray for them, support them, and trust that I am working within them. For when they reach maturity, your encounter with them will produce something greater than either of you alone. A collaboration, not two isolated beings. This is the beauty of grace. It unites, bringing fragments together into radiant harmony. My beloved, remember this well. I do not forget you, nor do I forsake your portion. I am carefully weaving my work, placing each person, each moment, each circumstance into its right position so that when the time is ripe, your destiny is revealed in full and blesses more lives than you ever imagined. Keep your courage, keep your ears attentive, keep your pen ready, and place your trust in my skilled hands, for I know how to restore, how to wait, and how to unite all things at the perfect instant, so that when I say now, the whole universe seems to rejoice over what has come to maturity. My dear child, lend me your ears and heart once again, so I may speak at length. What you call delay may in fact be my mercy working in secret. I do not act under the pressure of your clocks, but move within a rhythm deeper and broader, where every moment is weighed by eternal purpose. When I slow, it is not neglect. It is because I am repairing what is broken, multiplying what is scarce, and redeeming what you thought was lost, not in ordinary fashion, but in ways beyond your imagination, turning delay not into mere restoration, but into transformation, so that you recognize late in human eyes is but a veil for the masterpiece I am completing. Picture a garden. If I give you fruit too early, you will eat without tasting the fullness of the season. But when fruit ripens at its appointed time, its flavor bears the mark of sun, rain, wind, and the gardener's hand. When you taste it, you will know why you had to wait. Likewise, there are graces I have for you that can only reveal their full meaning once you have gained depth of soul to treasure and protect them. If you receive the gift too early, you may squander it as something seasonal, regretting your failure to keep it. But given at the right time, it becomes an inheritance, a fountain for you and for others. I know you sometimes worry when the blessing comes late. Will it still help, or will it have lost its purpose? Understand that I can multiply time and bring transformation in ways beyond your thought. There are circumstances where I not only restore what was lost, but enrich it manyfold. I can turn emptiness into treasure, wading into a fertile field, so you see that my gifts are not mere compensation, but superior endowments. This happens when waiting itself has matured you, making you wise enough to steward the blessing. You will not only keep it, but spread it. Not only enjoy it, but impart it. For I never intend blessings to be personal possessions, but channels that draw others to me. Delay, therefore, often becomes the groundwork for multiplied good. I turn emptiness into insight, tares into water that nourishes the fields to come. Remember, my child, there are treasures I entrust only to hands that have been tested, hands that know how to guard, seasoned with experience, to keep grace intact. What is too easily obtained is often lightly regarded. But when you have walked through valleys, endured lack, and suffered, then the true value of grace carves itself into your heart, and when you hold it, you know how to protect and use it wisely. I will not cheapen the gift by giving it before you are mature enough to bear responsibility. I will give treasures matched to your capacity to preserve, so that nothing I entrust is wasted. Thus I measure not only time, but your character, your growth, and the bonds around you, to know the safest and most fruitful moment. You may ask, Father, if you can give me all I desire at once, why do you not? My reply is this: I am not a magician to satisfy passing wishes. I am a Father who governs according to a greater plan designed to build you. That plan includes shaping you into one who is responsible, capable of carrying grace to others, with a heart of temperance and a mind of discernment. If I gave you all too early, you might lose the very calling I long to entrust. Grace would become cheap fabric instead of a garment of honor to cover others. I desire you to be worthy of your portion, and for that portion to hold lasting value, you must learn in the waiting season to pray without resentment, to serve without reward, to let go of what hinders, so there is room for new grace. There are blessings I grant to mend a part of your life you do not yet realize is broken. There are gifts I withhold until you endure certain trials, because those very trials will forge armor for your soul against future temptations. I would rather you wait than spoil the good by receiving it too soon. I would rather see you rich in wisdom than hand you treasure you cannot distribute. And when I see you ready not merely by words but by practice, I will open my heart, ushering you into a new season at the right time, in the right way, so that you exclaim, not late, but perfectly fulfilled. Let me illustrate once more. In the vineyard, the gardener knows precisely when the fruit has reached its perfect ripeness. If plucked too early, it lacks flavor. If left too long, it rots. The wise gardener watches each day, knowing the exact moment to harvest, so the taste is at its finest. I am that gardener. I see more deeply than you, and I desire to give you fruit not only for your delight, but so that you may share its flavor with the thirsty. Waiting may weary you, but what you reap from waiting will carry a sweetness of its own, the sweetness of experience, of understanding, of the chance to give. You must also recognize the connection between your grace and the human network around you. Many blessings cannot operate in isolation. They require the readiness of others. I may wait in order to multiply on many sides, to allow a heart to be healed, a perception to be awakened, a decision to be made, so that when all parts align, the blessing flows naturally with multiplied effect. If you are placed in the right position at the right time, the union creates a strength no individual could achieve. Thus, I act in harmony, using time to prepare every piece. Do not despair at delay, for it may be that I am waiting for others to complete their part, so that when you step in, the entire picture will be complete in beauty. And while you wait, do not let your heart grow cold. Use that time to refine yourself. Learn my word more deeply. Cultivate virtue, practice gratitude, and serve where you are placed. The small acts you carry out in the season of waiting are signs of a worthy heart. The one who knows how to embrace waiting will also know how to steward receiving. Turn your waiting into action. Every prayer, every gesture of love, every hour spent in my word becomes a brick I use to build the house where blessing will dwell. When the time comes for you to receive grace, you will not only receive it, but also have the ability to keep it and multiply it for many others. My dear child, I never forget what I have promised. I only guard the timing because I know that the true value of a blessing is revealed only when the one who receives it carries both a willing heart and a wise mind. There are treasures that money cannot buy: wisdom, patience, a heart that protects, and the ability to give generously. And I desire you to possess these before you embrace what is yours. As you pass through valleys and endure hardships, you learn how to guard blessings, to protect them from corruption, from abuse, and from selfishness. These experiences are the armor I clothe you with before entrusting you with treasures, for I will not let what is precious dissolve in the hands of one who has not yet learned how to preserve it. When the appointed moment comes, you will see that nothing has been wasted. Every tear, every sleepless night, every faithful prayer has been woven into glory. I will not merely restore to you what was lost, I will add to it in abundance, so you may recognize that I have turned delay into inheritance. Hold on to hope, hold on to faith, hold on to loyalty of heart, for the very seasons of waiting will stand as living proof for you and for others that I am the faithful one who gives and waits to give what is perfect. My child, do not fear losing your portion, for I am keeping it, I am shaping it, I am waiting until all things are ripe, so that when I open my hand you will receive not only on time, but with surpassing precision, far beyond your expectations. Rest in this word and walk forward step by step with patience and hope. Beloved child of mine, there are lessons that cannot sprout in haste nor grow in an instant. They flourish only in the quiet soil of waiting. When you sit through days that seem stagnant, when my promise appears unfulfilled, it is in those very moments that the seed of perseverance begins to take root in your soul. The perseverance I long to give is not a forced endurance, but a steadfast quality, an inner strength, enabling you to stand upright when the winds of life blow fiercely. In waiting, you learn not to see time as your enemy, but to transform each moment into a lesson for your maturing heart. Each day sharpens like a blade against the sword's edge, preparing you not only to receive the blessing, but to safeguard it and wield it for my purpose. Through the slow days, I am teaching you to listen. Not the hurried listening that seeks a quick reply, but the deeper listening that pierces through the noise of impatience. The world will flood you with urgent voices. Hurry up, act now, do not miss your chance. Yet I want you to learn to step aside from that chaos and attune yourself to one voice alone, mine. Such listening is not easy, for it requires you to release the ambition to see immediate results so that your heart may grow sensitive to the subtle rhythms that only I can create. As you practice listening in stillness, you will discern what is truly my word and what is merely an echo of desire, what is stirred by my spirit, and what is disguised entrapment under the mask of wisdom. Then you will see that waiting is never wasted, for it opens your eyes to my presence in the very silence you once mistook for absence. My child, my presence is never bound by the pace of progress you perceive. I am still there even when days pass with no visible sign. Do not confuse outward slowness with my absence. I may be silent, but I am not gone. I may let you wait, but I do not forsake you. I choose to work in silence so that you may learn to trust me beyond emotion. When you trust that I am present in dull days, you will also stand firm in stormy days. True faith is not born when all is favorable, but when you remain steadfast, though nothing can yet be seen. If you can walk with me when you feel nothing, you will also walk with me when storms rise. If you can hold my hand in slow seasons, you will not be shaken when trials strike. This is the very purpose of waiting, to teach you to walk not by sight but by faith. I want your heart to know that even when signs are hidden, I am still working. Even when no loud echo is heard, I am still whispering. And even when no steps are felt, I am still carrying you forward. This is the secret of mature faith. Faith not tied to tempo, but to the one who holds every rhythm in his hand. In the season of waiting, I also purify your motives. You may pray for something, but I ask, are your motives pure? Do you long for blessing to glorify me or to gratify yourself? In waiting, your heart is searched. Layers of selfishness, ambition, and pride are exposed, forcing you to decide, will you continue to follow me out of love for me or only for the gift? Waiting becomes the furnace of the heart, so that when the true blessing arrives, you will place it at my feet instead of on the throne of your own self. My child, in waiting, I teach you to serve without spotlight. Do not think that when I have not yet opened the door, you must sit idle. No, use the season of waiting to sow seeds of love into family, community, and even into lives of those who may never repay you. Let your waiting become soil where righteousness takes root. A farmer does not sit idle for rain. He tills the land, plants the seed, and waits for rain to help it grow. So too, sow the small acts of love while you wait. In due season, you will see a harvest more abundant than you imagined. I also want you to realize that waiting carries healing within it. There are wounds in your heart that only time and me can soothe. If I were to bless you while you are still bleeding, you might break it through unhealed pain. But as you let me lead you through long days, I will use silence to close wounds, time to wash memories, and each step to restore you to wholeness. Then the blessing will not be poured into a cracked vessel, but into one mended and made whole. Remember the story of Job. He lost everything: wealth, children, health. He sat in ashes, enduring the accusations of friends. There were days he prayed with no answer, cried with no voice returned. Yet he learned that faith is not immediate gain, but standing firm even when nothing appears. And when I restored him, he received double. Job stands as proof that waiting and suffering is not empty, but the foundation for grace to overflow. My child, if Job could stand, so can you. In waiting, you also learn to discern my voice from the world's. The world will tempt you with shortcuts, with doors of easy passage. But if you have learned to hear me in silence, you will know the false from the true. Longing that has endured makes your eyes keen. When the counterfeit comes, you will see it at once, because you already know the shape of the real. This is why I let you wait, not to punish, but to train your spiritual senses, so you will not be deceived by false light. My child, use the season of waiting to write. Record the dreams, the impressions, the whispers you hear in prayer. Some will guide you now, some will be seeds for the future. When the time arrives, you will look back and see that I spoke long before. Your journal will testify to my faithfulness. Remind you, when you forget, and shine as light when you are lost. Do not despise the act of writing. It is an act of faith showing that you believe. My word is never in vain, and do not fear that waiting will rob you of opportunity. What I have promised still stands even as years pass. I can restore what was lost, multiply what was delayed, and redeem time in ways beyond your imagination. When fulfillment comes, you will see it was never late, but exact, perfect, and right on time. I am the one who turns slowness into swiftness, loss into abundance, waiting into triumph. The faith you hold in waiting will become a crown of victory when I complete it. Therefore, my child, continue walking step by steady step. Turn waiting into training ground, into an altar of prayer, into a field of sowing. Do not complain over what is unseen, but give thanks that you are being prepared. Do not be dismayed by silence, but rest in my presence. For if you can trust me in quiet, you will trust me in storm. If you can walk with me when all seems slow, you will walk with me when waves crash. And then you will know that waiting is not waste, but a sacred part of the journey, shaping you into the right person at the right time and the right place I have appointed. My beloved child, I have seen the moments when you felt abandoned in the night, the times you silently asked why I was quiet, why the promise had not yet reached your hand. In those fragile moments, I whispered a simple invitation into your heart. Keep your trust in me. You may not yet see the meaning before you, nor discern the pattern I am weaving. But one day when you look back, you will realize every thread was in its place. Every delay had its reason, and I used silence to prepare both the blessing and the one who would receive it. Do not mistake willingness for readiness. Willingness is the first flame, but the strength to hold, manage, and multiply grace is forged only through time. I want you to grasp this difference as a gardener understands soil desire is needed, but more essential is ground tilled, enriched, and watered so the seed can sprout. The willingness in your heart may flash like lightning, bright, warm, but fleeting. Capacity is different. It is what you build through days of faithfulness, hours of study, failures healed, and lessons embraced. I use seasons of waiting to forge that capacity, giving you experiences, entrusting you with small tasks, requiring carefulness, teaching you to keep promises in little things before placing greater responsibilities in your hands. If I gave to you at the moment of raw desire without the honing of endurance, you would carry blessing like fragile ornament, easily broken under pressure. But if you are forged, you will hold grace as one who bears keys to treasure, knowing how to unlock it, guard it, and share it. This is why I do not rush. I am not a performer eager to please you instantly. I am a father forming you into a wise steward of what I entrust. Think of the tapestry, my child. A beautiful tapestry is not the product of a day, but the work of many hands and much time. Every thread must be woven at the right moment in the right place, sometimes waiting until other patterns are complete before its own color shines. If a thread is pulled too soon or misplaced, the entire design is marred. I am the weaver of your life, the one who knows every color, every size, every strand needed to make your life's fabric not only beautiful, but enduring. Every delay I allow is a precise stitch. Every step that seems small is a secure seam. You may not understand why you must wait, but I understand. I wait for other lives to weave in their parts. I wait for hearts to be ready, for circumstances to align, for prayers to shift, so that when all comes together, the tapestry will be flawless and able to bear the weight of life. You may wonder, if readiness of heart is enough, why does he demand capacity? I answer you with the voice of wisdom. Willingness is an open heart, a desire to be used. Capacity is the ability not to let grace slip away. You may long for position, favor, or influence, but if you receive without the ability to sustain it, may bring harm. Capacity ensures you use blessing without spoiling it, that you do not turn grace into a tool of pride or selfish gain. I need you to hold blessing with responsibility, so that through you others are lifted, not merely so you may enjoy. That is why I train you with small tasks, with daily disciplines, with repetitions you think meaningless. In truth, they are the exercises that build capacity. There was a time when I gave you the image of Joseph, the son of Jacob. Do you remember? He endured betrayal, was sold into slavery, was misunderstood in the house of strangers, and in the end, was thrown into prison. Many saw his story as nothing but a chain of meaningless pain, yet I saw in him a process of formation. His years in prison were not a baseless punishment, but treasures I used to refine his heart, to shape his mind and his capacity to govern, so that when the appointed time came, he could hold the keys to the nation's grain storehouses and save multitudes from famine. Joseph already carried a willing heart, but more than that, a strength was being built within him, and that was what I required for the mission. A man strong enough not to be consumed by power, but to wield it as an instrument of deliverance. My child, his story illustrates the difference. Willingness is the beginning, but capacity joined with grace brings forth greatness. Furthermore, your willingness at times is only a surface impulse. I need you to mature both inwardly and outwardly. Capacity is not limited to professional skills or talents. It also embraces emotional maturity, virtue, endurance in trials, and the ability to choose wisely under pressure. One who is truly capable knows how to restrain the ego, to share privilege, to heed sound counsel, and to set aside selfish motives. I want you to become the kind of person who can face trials without compromising integrity, who, when entrusted with power and resources, will not be corrupted by them, but will remain steadfast. For this reason, I teach you not only with words, but through circumstances, and those very circumstances are shaping within you the capacity to stand firm. You must understand that the timing I appoint is not a barrier to your destiny, but the very structure that preserves it. If I were to thrust you forward too soon, the unfinished pieces would remain scattered. A door might open, but no one would be in place to hold it. No one ready to walk with you, no system established to ensure that grace would bear lasting fruit. I require time for other hearts to heal, for dialogues to be called forth, for volunteers to be trained, for resources to be gathered, and only when all is harmonized do I open the door for blessing to overflow. In your eyes, waiting may feel like broken promises. In mine, it is the safeguard that ensures what I give retains its value and multiplies life for many. Look more closely and you will see that the capacity I build in you also includes the ability to collaborate, to connect with others, to accept a smaller role within a greater vision, to wait for others to complete their part. Your blessing rarely operates in isolation. It requires a chain of actions from many hands. I am the one who sees the entire sequence, and so I guide each step so that no one steps onto the stage while the setting is still incomplete. The humility to wait, the discernment to perceive rightly, and the capacity to build relationships, these two are part of the strength I desire for you. You may wonder at the moments when I seem slow, have I forgotten? I have not. I am watching every piece, every person, every smallest decision. I measure not in minutes, but in eternity, what will endure, what will fade, what will serve an everlasting purpose. I know a blessing too early may be wasted if the receiver lacks readiness or the context is unprepared. I know a blessing too late may lose its power to resonate. That is why I weigh carefully, step by step, weaving each thread so that the tapestry of your life is both beautiful and purposeful. So let me be the weaver. Continue to cultivate willingness before my eyes, but do not neglect to build capacity, to learn, to serve, to practice humility, to be faithful in small things. Remember, I place you in circumstances to train your stewardship, to prepare you to master the gift when it comes, not to become its victim. Trust my hand. I know precisely when to place the next stitch, which thread must be tightened, and when the fabric is complete. When that day comes, you will look back and declare, it was not late. Everything was woven in perfect time. And I will smile, for I kept the plan intact, not rushed, not lacking, but with the artistry that only the eternal weaver understands. My child, continue in obedience, continue in discipline, and continue to trust that I am at work. Every seeming delay is a perfect stitch, and every step you take adds to the pattern of destiny I designed for you. Hear me, child, when the time arrives, you will see the waiting was shorter than you thought. The days you counted as wasted will appear as hidden advances. I used the seasons you disliked to position you for the seasons you prayed for. Do not judge delay through the narrow lens of the moment, for I am working at depths unseen to you. You will come to view departures differently. Some must leave before I can bring others, and you will understand why. Some refusals are shields of protection, not condemnation. Some approvals come only to reveal a greater purpose beyond personal satisfaction. I act not by whim, but by the flow of wisdom. Believe this, the moment I grant you something is the moment it serves the highest purpose for my glory and for your good. When blessing arrives in due time, it will not harm you, but will strengthen your faith. It will not weaken you, but will deepen your responsibility. That blessing will extend through you into the lives of others. I have fought silently, shielded, and prepared you. Those times you thought I was absent were the very moments I was laying the foundation for something greater. Do not look only at your willingness. Willingness may flare for a moment, but consider capacity, which is built over time through discipline, service, and endurance. Willingness is the spark. Capacity is the forge where you learn to steward grace. I use small tasks and daily burdens to train you, giving you the strength to preserve and to share. Once you have been refined, blessing will become a legacy, not a fleeting gift. I am the weaver of your life. Every stitch, every thread I pass has meaning. If a thread is woven too early or too late, the pattern is broken. That is why I weigh each step. Sometimes I must wait for another heart to ripen or for a word to be spoken, so that when all aligns, the portrait of your life is whole. When you look back, you will see I prepared not only the gift, but also the one who receives it. The experiences, the wounds, the times of healing, all have formed capacity within you. Thus, the blessing is not squandered in your hands. Instead, you use it to heal, to build, and to give to those in need. Do not forget the web of connection. Your blessing often requires threads from others. I work across many lives at once, so that one strand may interlock with another. If I push you too quickly, the connection may collapse. If I wait, when I open the way, everything will converge in multiplied effect. While you wait, do not waste the time. Record the traces I give, dreams, impressions, whispers, for when the day bursts forth, those pages will testify to my word. Train your heart through service, through my word, and through humility. This is the work that builds true capacity. Then the day will come, and you will exclaim, "Indeed, it was not late. All has come to fullness." You will give thanks for both no and yes, for both served the eternal weaving. My glory will be revealed through your life when you learn to keep, to give, and to live for a purpose greater than yourself. Stand firm, my child. Keep your ears attentive, your hands recording, and your heart ever ready. Every stitch I make in your life is perfect. Every step you take, even those that seem like setbacks, are part of the pattern. I am gifting you a tapestry both beautiful and enduring, through which others will see that I am faithful. My beloved child, let me whisper once more with patient love. I ordain the timing of the gifts, not merely so that they appear in your life, but so they become inseparable from your story, so that when all is unveiled, my hand cannot be denied. It is not that I delight in keeping you waiting, but I know that if I bring the blessing while you still rely on your own strength, before you are trained to hold and to give, the gift would easily bend to your desires or fade beneath selfish wants. Therefore, I wait until you have learned to lay aside trivial motives, until you have grown strong enough to use grace for a purpose larger than yourself, so that when what I give appears, you will look at it and say, "This could only be the hand of God." You often see only the single thread before you, a chance, a person, an invitation, and you long to weave it in so that your life looks complete in the moment. But I who see further know that thread must pass through stages, must be interwoven with others, must wait until the colors and textures around it are aligned. I see the finished fabric. I know the borders, the patterns, the strength required. I know which thread must be drawn first, which must follow, which must be bound tightly so the design endures. Thus I do not act according to your impatience, but according to eternal design. You see this chapter, I see the whole book. You see a fleeting moment, I see an entire lifetime. When you look back, you will realize every delay was meaningful, every refusal was protection, and every trial was preparation. I do not ask you to understand every timing of mine. I do not demand you grasp the entirety of heaven's ways. I only ask you to trust my heart. Trust that I do not abandon you, that what I withhold is for a deeper love, that every moment of waiting is a lesson, a refining fire, a heart stretched to contain the blessing. When you truly trust my heart, you will rest even when your eyes cannot see, and your soul will no longer be shaken by the fleeting shifts of this world. Such faith does not grow by force. It grows as you experience me, as the keeper of promises, as you witness my words fulfilled even after long seasons that seemed forgotten. You may ask, how can I tell the difference between trustworthy waiting and useless delay? I tell you, if in the waiting you are renewed, refined, and drawn closer to me, that is the sign I am at work. If waiting makes you dull, careless, or leaning on the frail bridges of the world, then examine your motives. I do not keep you waiting simply to test in vain. I want to shape your character to make you worthy of your portion. Therefore, every silent season is an invitation to examine your heart. Have you gained more faith or only more impatience? Have you learned to share more? Are you ready to take responsibility? These questions are the compass that reveals your ripeness. I know well the frailty within you. I see how easily you fall into temptation when blessings arrive too soon, quick to boast, quick to grow proud, quick to forget gratitude. I do not wish for my grace to become the reason you forget me. That is why I prepare you through long days, through small tasks, through limitations that press you to lean on me rather than on self-sufficiency. These limits are not shackles but braces to help you grow upright. They are the frame within which you may build the strength to steward blessing and the heart that can freely give. Only when you are strong enough, when you can carry and preserve, will I entrust you with more, so that grace will not only adorn your life, but illuminate the dark places of others. My child, I want you to know that in the tapestry of my works, every person holds a unique place. Some I must lead ahead to break the path open. Some I must first heal before entrusting. Some I must raise through trial, and some I must slow down so they may learn humility. I weave through countless lives all at once, knowing who must stand where and when. This is my art, the interlacing of destinies into a symphony where every note strikes in its appointed place. You are one note in that music. Do not long to command the whole, but sing your part faithfully. When the time comes, you will see that the denials I gave were timely. Those no's spared you from harm, from choices that would corrode your dignity, or from subtle snares beyond your wisdom. You will understand that in love I withheld certain things, lest you squander the blessing and taint its purpose. And when I consent, when I say yes, it is the moment when every thread has ripened, every factor aligned, and the blessing flows in its right channel, multiplying beyond your expectation. That is the hour I choose to reveal glory, so that both the receiver and the witnesses may see my faithfulness. Do not forget to record the works I have done in your soul, small journals, dream notes, strange impressions for the day. You look back, those pages will stand as living proof that I spoke beforehand. These entries will become guiding light in the coming season, helping you recognize the threads I have already woven in. As you hold those memories close, you preserve spiritual sensitivity. You will not be lost in the world's noise, but still discern my whisper. I also caution you against haste, disguised as wisdom. The world often clothes fear in the garb of prudence, urging safety by standing still, or urging speed by rushing blindly. Both extremes lead astray. True wisdom is to listen to me and wait patiently for confirmation, peace in the heart, my word as standard, and the testimony of the righteous community. When these align, you know you may go forward. When one is absent, be vigilant. I call you not to chase noise, but to walk in the affirmation of word and witness deep within. While waiting, become a sower. Sow prayers for others. Sow kindness. Sow service. What you plant in the silent season will return in the open season, not as some subjective balance, but as the natural fruit of prepared hearts, cultivated relationships, and ripened contexts where blessing may move freely. Do not regard waiting as empty time. See it as a storehouse where you place seeds that will sprout when the tablecloth is spread. When the day of my giving arrives, you will not only receive a blessing, you will receive a mission. Blessing is not merely for enjoyment. It is a tool for you to embody my love, to heal others, to build community. I entrust grace to those who steward it with responsibility, humility, and generosity. You will see blessing become a vessel that reveals my glory. The eyes that look upon you will see me in what I do through you. My child, remember what I have said. I only ask that you trust my heart. Trust that I am the master craftsman, that I know every stitch and every thread, and that I know when to wait, when to open, and when to hasten to save. Trust that I am not impatient as you are, yet I never waste time. Every pause carries purpose. When you learn this trust, you will no longer be shaken by temporary no's, but rest secure in the future glory I preserve for you. One day, as you look back, you will see the tapestry of your life is beautiful, not because it lacks torn places, but because I have sewn every tear with wise stitches, not because every thread is alike, but because each has been placed in its rightful spot to form the complete design. You will cry out with me, never late, all in its perfect time. And as those words escape you, you will taste the sweetness of a faith refined, and I will smile, for I foresaw that smile long ago. Walk then with faith, take my hand, and let me continue weaving. You may see only a single thread, but I see the whole pattern. You may read only one chapter, but I hold the whole book. You may count hours, but I hold eternity. Rest in this, for I do nothing without meaning, and when I speak now, heaven and earth rejoice together, for the fullness has come. My beloved child, hear again my voice steady and at peace. I promise you not a single word I have spoken over your life will fail. The words I have given, the words I have etched upon your heart in gentle whispers will not fall to the ground like withered leaves scattered by the wind. They are kept in the treasury of my faithfulness and drawn forth at the right time in the right measure, so that no fragment is wasted. You may wonder, you may doubt, but I affirm none of my words are idle or fleeting. They are stitches bound tightly into the fabric of your life, and I am the wise weaver who never lets a single stitch fall in vain. Let your heart rest in that promise. I know you have wept, prayed, and wrestled through many nights at times, wondering why the answer delays. But know this delay is not neglect or lack of sincerity. I do not treat promises as empty tokens. I weigh each word with care. When I speak, I have already measured purpose, direction, and outcome, what it will bring to your life and to many others. Therefore, be at peace. My word is alive, and I will fulfill it. You often see with your short-sighted eyes, counting days and months, concluding that time is against you. But I see with eternal vision. I measure by purpose, by capacity, by the interweaving of souls and circumstances. Your waiting may serve higher reasons you cannot yet see. Perhaps another must be healed before your blessing flows. Perhaps you must be refined in character to steward grace. Perhaps I am positioning you where only when all is ready can the blessing move in fullness. Whatever the reason, trust that all lies within my hands and not a word is forgotten. I know you have wished blessings would come sooner, that doors would open before you were ready, that results would appear while you still endured hardship. Such is the reflex of impatience. Yet you will see when fulfillment truly descends on your life, you will desire nothing else. You will realize no moment could have made it better than the one I chose. All before was only prelude leading into the full chorus. Then you will cry with me. It could not have been more perfect, for you will taste the harmony between blessing and receiver, circumstance and planned gift and mission. Understand deeply, child, completeness is not only for today, it is also preparation for tomorrow. I bless to build a legacy, not merely to fill present need. When I appoint something for your life, I weigh the ripple. It will create the people. You will help the family, lifted the community, strengthened, and my name exalted. A blessing in its time unleashes this chain. If too early or too late, one link may break. Thus I guard timing as an artisan guards. Fruit plucked too soon, it lacks flavor. Plucked too late, it rots. Only when ripe does it taste sweetest. So too with my blessings, child. You may be puzzled at the refusals I gave, only to find later they were shields of protection. Remember, sometimes I say no, not because I lack goodness, but because I see that what you crave would harm you if given now. Some gifts, if placed in unready hands, become burdens causing downfall or corrupting grace. I love you more than you comprehend, so I guard until maturity can receive. Looking back, you will thank even the refusals, for they preserved your spiritual life and future. I also want you to know that blessings arriving in their proper time carry great transforming power. They strengthen faith, solidify hope, stir gratitude, and turn you into an instrument of service. Nothing I bestow is meant only for you. Every grace holds power to spread. That is why when I say yes, it is the moment when many lives converge, and you are set at the center of a flowing current of grace. Prepare to receive with this spirit as responsibility, not merely as reward. In waiting, do not let your heart harden or doubt. My goodness, let waiting refine rather than embitter you. Waiting is the furnace where subtle virtues are honed: patience, humility, gratitude, kindness, wisdom, and choice. As you let waiting shape you, you will enter blessing with worthy posture, not using grace to adorn self, but to reveal my glory and serve others. This is my desire for you more than a swift outcome. I also want to teach you that waiting is not passive. In the season of waiting, you are called to labor, to plant, nurture, learn, serve, and kindle light where you are. These actions are never wasted. They are the truest preparation. I do not want you idle, complaining, or stagnant. I want you active, faithful, in small works, quiet yet steadfast. When I see you giving time to build inner life and community, then, when blessing arrives, you are ready to steward and multiply it. Remember, I often answer prayers by placing you in situations that require faith, so that when blessing comes, you use it rightly. You may feel doubt when you see others receiving before you, or when their path seems smoother. I understand that ache, and I want you to know I lead each along their own path and timing according to my eternal plan. Do not compare your place with another's. Instead, focus on completing your part, awaiting what I have promised. Comparison only wearies and distracts. I do not take from others to give to you. I give in alignment with purpose and timing so that the whole design is complete. Remember the signs I often leave in your life: dreams, impressions, whispers, and coincidences like flickers of light. Record them, child. When the right time comes, you will open your spiritual notebook and see the continuity of my voice. Those pages will be testimony to my faithfulness, a map helping you trace my hand in every step. Do not dismiss small things. I use small details to lead you to greater ones. You must also learn patient responsibility, not only to wait, but to wait with action. Think of the farmer. He does not sit idly yearning for rain. He prepares soil, sows seed, and tends it. So must you, while waiting, sow what is good. The blessing I grant will be sustained by the works you do in this waiting season. Let your heart become fertile soil, ready for the seed of grace to sprout. I know your sorrow when each step back feels like loss. But be assured your portion is not lost. I am holding and weaving it anew. Each time you falter, return and call upon me. I will comfort you, give strength to rise and wisdom to wait without despair. In tasting my help through hard days, your faith will grow. This is the treasure I seek in you, a heart steadfast, unshaken by circumstance. Finally, child, press this promise into your heart: everything I have spoken I will perform. All things happen exactly when they must. When the moment comes, you will not wish it had come sooner, for you will know no other time could have made the blessing more complete. Therefore resist, not with impatience or discontent. Wait with me. Let waiting refine you rather than harden you. Let it teach you joy in my presence rather than complaint against my process. Stand firm, my child. Keep your heart pure, keep your eyes fixed on me, keep your hands working while you wait. When I declare now, everything will burst forth in joy, and you will see that every tear, every long night, every prayer was not in vain. I will reveal myself, and you will recognize my hand in every turning. This is the Father's promise to you, faithful, true, and eternal. Rest in that. My child, pause a while within your heart and hear me speak with the voice of a Father full of grace. This is not an empty promise, but a declaration from a heart that never changes. I am with you, I am not against you. Let this word be like an anchor in the sea of life, so that when storms batter your hope, you will know your true refuge. I rejoice in giving you good things, and because of my deep love, I choose the most fitting time to give, not to test you cruelly, but to ensure that blessing comes when you are able to hold guard and pass it on. Do not view waiting as a cold sentence. See it as a hidden grace. I want you to have the capacity for what I will place in your hands, so the gift will not shatter the moment it is given. My child, I know you have endured long, lonely nights, moments of discouragement when you thought your prayers were met with silence. Yet I whisper into your heart, trust me. Trust in a Father who never forgets, who counts every stitch, every thread in the tapestry of your life. You may see only a single strand, an opportunity, a person, a word of invitation, but I see the entire fabric, the patterns and designs intertwined. I see the connection between the thread you hold and the journey of another. I see the whole book filled with chapters you have not yet read. That is why I choose silence, why I choose delay, not because I do not love you, but because I see farther than you. I see the consequences of an action taken too soon or too late. I know the moment that will make the blessing not only satisfy you, but bring good to many others. Imagine the dawn after the longest night you have ever known. Light does not come because darkness grew weary and withdrew. Light comes because the moment had been prepared for the sun to rise. There are seasons in your life, like that night days when you thought every door had closed, that the promise had withered and hope had died. But I, in my boundless wisdom, have appointed the hour for the sun to rise. When I say now, everything will blaze like the morning, and you will understand that no power can hinder when the time is ripe. This certainty does not come from your grasp of every plan, but from your trust in my heart. I am the one behind every stitch, every thread, every chapter in the book of your life. You may wonder, how will I know it is you and not the echo of blind hope? I answer you in this way. My voice often comes with peace, with a word aligned to Scripture, and with an inner conviction that cannot be forged. When I speak, your heart will sense a reassurance from its deepest source. My word does not confuse you, but brings clarity. Moreover, I often use the godly, the ordered circumstances, and the holy word to confirm what I speak, for I do not want you wandering after illusions or haste. Seek the harmony of peace within the witness of Scripture and the voice of the community of faith. When all three testify, you may step forward with confidence. I do not ask you to understand every mystery of timing. I only ask you to place your trust in my heart. Believe that I love you more than you love yourself. Believe that I know the best way for you better than you can devise. When you choose to trust, you need not let your mind be unsettled by sudden shifts. That trust is a kind of sacred rest. You are secure because you know a hand holds your life. Let me be the weaver. You need only remain faithful in your portion, praying, serving, learning, loving, for in these small acts I prepare you for greater things. My child, I know you fear that waiting will harden you, but it is in allowing me to shape you in the silent season that you learn precious lessons. Patience becomes part of your character. Humility becomes your foundation. Gratitude is cultivated, discernment is sharpened. These qualities do not weaken you. They make you mature, steadfast, and worthy to hold the grace I will give. When the blessing comes, you will not chase after glory or boast. You will use grace as a light for others, just as I intend. This is why I want you to grow in deeper faith rather than settle for shallow favor. While you wait, I invite you to record every impression, every dream, every moment you hear the whisper within. This is not superstition, but a way of living with meaning. You preserve evidence, so that when I lift the veil, you see the continuity and understand your journey. Those pages of spiritual journal will be testimony of my faithfulness and will guard you from losing your way when storms arrive. Let every line be a witness, so that on the day I open the door, you will see I had been speaking and guiding you step by step all along. My beloved child, I want you to know that not everyone I call will walk beside you at the same time. Some must leave before I bring others. Some relationships must end so that new branches may grow. Some doors must close so that others may open in the right direction. Do not resent the partings. Often it is precisely the breaking that makes room for something better, but only when I work with the whole context, the people, and the timing. This understanding lets you see that I am not working alone, but weaving a network of grace where many lives intersect, and I know how to set everyone in their appointed moment to bring forth a resonant miracle. Therefore, when you feel prayers unanswered, do not hastily give up. Instead, be patient, work as a gardener. Water your soul with the word, uproot selfish roots, and sow more seeds of love into life. Use the waiting season to learn to give more than to receive, to train a heart that knows how to share. When the blessing comes, you will have the capacity to use it to build my glory in your place, in your family, your friends, and even those you have never met. You must also understand, when I open the door, it will not appear smooth to the world, but it will be a miracle revealing my power and faithfulness. The brilliance of that blessing will not only bring you joy, but cause those around you to believe that there is one behind it all. Some will see and find hope. Some will return. Some will be instructed by witnessing my intervention. Your blessing, when it arrives in due season, will carry an influence far beyond yourself. And this is what I desire, that through you many lives may be touched and transformed. So walk with me. Do not resist the process I shape. When you walk, I hold your hand. When you pause, I am there to comfort. Trusting me is not passive. Trusting me is choosing to live with hope, though your eyes do not yet see. Trusting me is working faithfully in small things while you wait. Nurture a life of prayer, action, and remembrance, so that when the tide recedes, when the heavens open, you step forward, ready with a heart refined. And when my dawn truly breaks in your life, you will feel a different joy. You will not regret the days and nights of waiting, for they were the very soil that formed who you are on that day. You will recognize that I was never indifferent or needlessly delayed. I was only practicing the art of the master weaver, threading each strand at the right moment, placing each stitch with precision, so that the tapestry of your life is more beautiful than any design of your own. You will see that I held you safe in my arms, and it is because you were held that you can receive a grace not only for yourself but for many others. Let this word anchor you. I am with you, not against you. I delight in giving you good, and every reason I delay is but a sign of perfect love. When that moment comes, it will be like the sunrise flooding the horizon, radiant, timely, unstoppable. Trust me, walk with me, for my timing is perfect, and you are kept safe in my embrace. Now, my child, open your heart wide, hiding nothing from me. Offer me your cries, your sighs, your deepest hopes and longings. Every whisper you utter, I hear, and lift as sweet fragrance before my throne. Almighty God, I come before you with a heart marked by cracks and cares. At times I feel abandoned, like a traveler stranded by a deserted road in the night. Yet I know you have not forgotten me. Teach me to understand that your silence is not absence, but the space where I learn to trust. When my eyes see only darkness, let my heart hold firm to the promise you engraved. Turn each day of waiting into a lesson of patience, every tear into a seed of hope. Deliver me from restlessness, so I do not run to shortcuts, but persevere in the path you have chosen. May my faith not falter, but grow stronger in every silent season. Cover me with grace that I may not fall. Beloved Father, the one who sees to the depths of my heart, I bring you the hidden desires I have never dared to speak. At times, it feels like time itself works against me, but you remind me that your timing is my protection. Do not let delay become bitterness, but turn it into a chance to refine my soul. Let your Spirit remind me that every promise is kept in your eternal hands. When I am weak, let me remember, you still steer the course even when I cannot see the way. Place within me strength to keep walking slowly but surely. Give me inner light to discern your voice among the many sounds of this world. O Jehovah, everlasting one, I lift my eyes to you in hope. Forgive me for the times I complained when quick results did not come. Help me fix my gaze on you, not on what you give. When I feel stuck, remind me that the roots of faith grow deep in silent days. Train within me a pure heart, so that when blessings come, they will not replace you in my heart. Teach me to wait in peace, without anxiety, without comparing with others. Use me as a witness of your faithfulness, so that those who see me will know you are never late. Holy Father, holder of eternity, I kneel before you in surrender. Turn my waiting into the furnace that shapes my character. Forge humility in me, that I may know not all things are within my control. Break the pride within, so I will not presume to build my future by my own strength. Grant me light to see your hand in every detail, even when I do not yet understand. Let this waiting not be an end, but a beginning of something new. Teach me gratitude instead of complaint. Let my waiting become an altar where I offer all my faithfulness. Merciful Father, I cry out for strength so I do not miss what you have appointed. There are times I want to rush to break open doors, but I know doors opened at the wrong time can destroy me. Help me stop when you say not yet. Give me courage to step when you say now. Keep me from false fears, from deceptive voices. Grant me ears to hear, a heart to discern, and eyes to recognize your signs. Make my heart fertile soil, ready for the seed you will sow. May my life become a mirror reflecting your faithfulness. Creator, God, weaver of every detail in my life, keep me from weariness. At times I feel forgotten, but let me remember, you are still stitching threads into the great fabric. Teach me to rest in the certainty that you are at work, even when my eyes cannot see. Turn disappointment into hope, tears into new springs. Teach me not to cling to human clocks, but to see with eternal eyes. Give me joy in waiting, so I will not complain, but praise. Help me surrender the whole process into your hands, for you know best. God of mercy, I know. You have heard every whisper of my heart. Open my eyes to see that delay itself is hidden love. There are snares ahead I cannot see, but you can. Let me know that. You hold me back not to punish, but to protect. Help me recognize that your slowness is in truth, swiftness in eternal meaning. Grant me faith to keep walking without fear. Turn waiting into the opportunity to know you more. May every trial become a step, drawing me closer to you. Loving Father, I come before you with gratitude and with weakness. Teach me that every moment of your delay is a moment of my preparation. When I see others moving quickly, keep me from comparison. When I see myself standing still, remind me that you are still at work. I ask you to fill my heart with peace, that I may not be swayed by the voices of the world. Teach me to find satisfaction in you rather than in results. May my heart cling tightly to you and never let go. O beloved Lord, I place everything in your hands. Teach me that waiting is not wasted. May I use this time to sow seeds of love, faithfulness, and patience. Shape within me a pure heart, a steadfast will, and a discerning mind. I pray that you prepare me for the day of blessing, that I may not be caught off guard, but stand firm and ready to share. Grant me light to see your purpose in every detail. I trust that your timing is perfect and that you are holding me in your arms. Gracious Father, I thank you that you never forget me. Thank you for being with me in every moment of weakness. Thank you for the times you said not yet to protect me. I know that without you, I would have fallen long ago. Thank you for turning long nights into lessons of patience. Thank you for making waiting an opportunity to know you more. I offer my gratitude because you remain faithful even when I have doubted. I praise you because your blessings come at the right time, never too early, never too late. I know that none of your promises ever fail. Almighty God, I thank you for weaving my life into a tapestry with perfect design. Thank you that every delay is a precise stitch. Thank you for giving me the chance to learn how to hear your voice amid countless noises. I know that nothing I go through is meaningless. Thank you for granting strength when I was exhausted. Thank you for using every detail for my good. I praise you for keeping your word, for protecting me, for lifting me up. I know that every moment of waiting rests in the fullness of your love. Holy Father, I thank you for growing my faith through trials. I thank you for not giving blessings before I was ready. Thank you for knowing me better than I know myself. I praise you for turning impatience into opportunities to learn humility. I know that you are never late, but always on time. Thank you for granting me peace in days of unrest. Thank you for placing the right people in my life at the right moment. I thank you for shielding me from the wrong paths. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we may build a strong community of faith.